Everybody, DayTraderRockStar.
Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is a special market radar video going into the first week of April. And first thing I want to do is talk about the site a little. I have a great little beginner series here. If you go to DayTradingRadio.com, click on the this little button here, it'll open right up to my video series for beginners. I'm trying to get people updated and kind of up to speed on what we do here at Day Trading Radio, especially with some of the technical analysis trades. I'll just give you a fast look at that. We're going to do stock trading for kids and beginners, kids, students, and beginners. I put it in there as kids, but believe me, this is a good beginner course for anybody who wants just to get a feel for chart reading and what trading's about. And then, part 2, I work on channels. Part 3, falling wedges, rising wedges, moving averages. And then some more in-depth videos identifying channels, important things to pay attention to, and some special segments. So I put that together for everyone. All you have to do is click on that link. It'll bring you right to my YouTube page and that beginner series. So it's a pretty good series if you want to take advantage of that. What else do we have here? Let me go back to the site here. Let's click that. So if you're familiar with Day Trading Radio, I broadcast each and every day, even except Fridays. Fridays, I'm actually doing our research and our preparation for the upcoming week. That's where we put out the HPS watch list. But being the end of the month, I want to go over a little end of the month review. We've just had a killer month. Just a killer month. I traded mostly stocks. We talked about HPS setups, and this month was really based on picking out the best divergence setups out there and trading them. We had some options. We did some futures trading, but most of it was based off of the HPS watch list and just picking those great stocks. And I want to go review some of those. I'll also do a little market radar for you. We go down to here to trade history. You can see the trade history for this month. These are the trades. Now I trade options, I trade the futures, and I trade stocks. Sometimes I'm not a classic in and out day trader every other minute and stuff, getting in and out of things. I pick stocks that I want to see run. Give me the best returns in the shortest amount of time. If that takes 3, 4 days, 5 days, even up to a couple of weeks, I'll take those trades as long as the signals are giving me that signal. And every one of these signals are based. All these signals are based off of stochastics and divergences. So we're going to break some of these down just to show you the common denominator in all these. All right, we'll actually go back and take a look at some of these. So a couple of those things here. So let's start off with that. Actually, we're going to bring up the chart. This is the S&P 500. And going into this week, we actually had a nice turnover on the daily. We expected this market to bounce. We got a huge bounce off of what we call a 60-minute divergence. And the 60-minute divergence here really is one of our best time frames to get a divergence on, because it gives us a nice little rally. And we had that divergence with the gap down. Look at that rally we got right up to the top part of the trend line. And we're actually holding up here pretty good. And we're actually rotating back here on the 9.3 stochastic on the 60. 14.3 is actually taking a little longer time, but this still looks all good going into next week. I'm very happy about it. I think we're going to have a nice week next week, and I think this market has a lot further to go. I mean, overall, we've been rallying off of this consolidation. We got through our big 20,000 level, or 20,600 and change. Everything here points to being in this market and taking advantage of the momentum and the strength of this market. That's how you're going to make money. I'm not seeing anything different. The daily here continues to look pretty strong. The hourly actually starting to look pretty strong too. If we actually rotate back a little bit further, and then we're probably going to bounce and get a break out of this. News always trumps everything. So if there's any news out there, and I emphasize trumps. It's funny that I always say news trumps, and now we have President Trump, which we could get some news from. The administration and the policies and stuff. That's in focus on this market. So if something happens and it doesn't seem good, the market can pull back off of that. So just take that and keep that in the back of your head. I put out the HPS watch list for the members. We have a lot of new divergences on it. I'd like to give you one. I'm going to give you two best bets for next week. I just put a chart out for Joe, which is our ETF, our coffee ETF. I've traded this so many different times. This is like my fourth time being in the last year, and I only trade this on the divergences, and it gives me divergences. The last divergence was here. Well, right now we seem to be setting up in a divergence. You can see that higher low, the lower low in price, and it's slowly moving up. I expect this channel to break out to the upside. So I have a target on that. I actually will show you the, if I can, find out where I put that. So I had to restart my computer a couple times, so I don't have the all the links in front of me. Let me get the link in front of me for you. All right, there it is. There's our downward channel, divergence. Our buy zone, we're right in here. Stop is underneath us, but I think we have actually a nice move up here in the 21 plus area. I think we could actually get going here, possibly even 22. It's trading at $19. It's not a big mover, but again, the common denominator is this divergence. This divergence setup has been key, and it's just a great setup. So we have another divergence setup playing out this week also, and let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna give you this other one as a best bet. Not that one, AP day. Hold on. Here we are. Again, you can see down the bottom here, we have a little divergence happening. This spike down low and a big reversal piercing pattern gave us a higher low right here. Now, I put this down here expecting maybe the market to get down to the lower part of this channel. Not a bad trade if we get that area. It's everything set up for you. If we actually get the HPS setup is a members thing, a members only segment of Day Trading Radio, and all these alerts are automatically inputted into the system. So when we do get an alert, like the price comes down to our buy zone, you instantaneously get a text message and an email. And the same thing if a stop is hit or the profit zone is hit. I took an early position on this one because I think we're actually pushing higher, but I also wanted to keep the buy zone down here in case we get down to a lower trend line. But I think that divergence is playing out, and we actually move higher off of this. So that's another good setup for going into next week. I just wanted to share with you. And again, just watch this show. You'll probably see a lot more great setups. Now we're going to just review why these setups play out the way they do, and I'm just going to give you great examples. I mean, that's the best thing I could do. That's what I do every day. It's just kind of instill that confidence in you, because every divergence that we get into works out fine. It doesn't have to be, and this is perfect for the part-time trader. It really is. I mean, we find these on the futures, and we trade futures off the divergences. We could do scalps. We have a lot of people trading the tradeometer, for our intraday trades. But if you're not about that real fast trading, intraday scalping, and then this is perfect. These are preferably I'd like to have these trades work out between 3 and 7 days, 3 and 5 days. Get the biggest moves. We get divergences, and we want to get that full rotation. That rotation between the oversold to overbought level takes some time. So you want to give that stock a little time to kind of break out and get some going. We don't want to get 20 cents on it and then get rid of it and then watch it go another $2. So that's how I approach these HPS divergence setups. First one we're going to go over is very similar to that JO, and it was a the cocoa ETF. And look at how this thing is pulled back. And if you look at the weekly chart, this thing has been pretty much crushed. It traded on all-time lows. We broke down through support. But how do we pick an area that we get a big move at and we actually make $400 on this trade? Well, because we see the divergence. The divergence is key. We get the higher low, and again, not to go into divergences. I have hundreds of videos on divergences and the whole methodology based on it. So I'm not going to go into instructions how to take these. Just look it up on the other videos. But this was a divergence. You get in, and we got a nice rotation up. We got a nice profit on it. We took it off. Very easy to understand. The divergence gets us in. The full rotation back above the 80 gets us out. The next stock was CWST. CWST, we made about 483. All right, this was a nice pullback. A lot of times divergences happen in a small pullback, a tight channel. This actually, we had divergence here, a very nice, a nice one. It was one that I was comfortable with, and we got a pop and an initial pop and then a pull back, and then we got a big pop and we took it off. I mean, as long as that channel was holding up, we actually pulled back to a channel line, and whenever we have a higher low divergence, we tend to see another higher low being put in here, which represents a further move in the big in the channel. All right, so that's kind of a trick of the trade right there. If you have a divergence, that's really, you have a low, then you have a higher low, and that divergence, because it's rare, but it's not that rare. You just have to find it. But it works so well that you usually tend to get a further move, and that further move has to be based off of that stochastic rotating back up into overbought, pulling back, but not making a full rotation, just turning back up. And that trend line, underlying trend line, tends to work out. You have that higher low, that trend line extends, and then the stochastics come back down, the price kind of pull back, and then boom. All we have to do is wait for those setups. The hard part is taking profits. When you have a nice pop like that, which we did, that was a $13 stock. You make a nice little pocket change there. Our next stock that we got into was Brinker, EAT, and this was based off of a very nice trend line. Whenever you have a really established trend line, there's a big pivot. When we talk about pivots, a pivot is when the stock moves up and then changes direction and moves down. That area where it changes direction, that angle, is a pivot. If it goes down and then moves up, that angle is a pivot. It goes down and moves up, the pivot. Here's a pivot. These little pivots, they all play out. When you have a couple of good pivots playing out, here was one here, one was here, and then we retrace back down to it, and we come back down to it. Still, maintains its integrity. The strength is still there, and that's where we want to take that trade. This is called a channel breakout, breakout, a channel line retracement. But in this case, we also want to have that stochastic oversold when you're on that trend line. So you had a couple things here. You actually had a 9-3 divergence right here. You see that higher low right on the trend line. It was very hard to read into that lower low, so I wouldn't go into it so much. But it was really about the lower trend line. We just rode that, and that still looks good. It's one of our stocks of Make America Fat Again. Darden Restaurants, we knew that was very strong. And Brinker and some other ones. And the CMG, we were recently in that. And that was a lower trend line bounce. And again, these are all have exact, very exact entry criteria. I just got an email. I saw a couple of the members today were talking about the tradeometer, and Sawboy here this week made I think $1,600 just trading the off of the tradeometer, and I'm just getting something here. That Fro here traded the Fro just got here field trade to update. He took 3 tradeometer signals and 1 tradometer with Rambot alert. He got 5.5 points today. Nice going. Just crossed. Well, anyway, there's the CMG, and that was one of our trades also. And this actually went, huge move, huge. You might think it's a little expensive, but I didn't have many shares on this, 40 shares, which is enough. But when you get a 10-point move, that adds up, and that's a 10-point move on this is nothing. This actually moved. We move on this. We moved quite a bit on this one. Let's see if I could give you. It moved up here 33 points over the last 10 days. It was 33 points. 37 points right to the highs. 37 points. 37 points. Oh. And eventually that would come back and give us another opportunity, another trade. All right, here was our Under Armour trade, and Under Armour was a divergence also. You can see this downward channel line from that low to this low, and that's a definite higher low. Really, you're able to see this one well on the lower stochastic band here. But I noticed it up here, and I like that we were holding that 20 line, even though we took made new lows here and then reversed higher, and that's where we knew this trade was going to start heading up. And from that point on, it moved up about 10%, 2 points. That's a $20 stock, people, and it went up. That's a 10% move just in 5 days. So it's, you know, relative. What you want to get that set up, you're going to get the biggest moves available. Doesn't look like much on the chart, but you know, my quote or my saying is, show me a divergence and I'll show you a stock that moves in the direction of that divergence 9 out of 10 times. And that's good. That's a good percentage when it comes to trading. The only thing you have to do now here is lock in your discipline, your risk management, understand where your stops are going to be, and you know, and the rest is easy. The hard thing is the patience to wait for them and the discipline to get out of them. If it gets up extended up here into an overbought level, look at it start to pull back already. So it's actually starting to pull back a little. And then we had what was the other one we had here? Hold on. Oh, the Cabela's. Yeah, Cabela's. You know, you got to do a lot of work too. You know, there's a lot of research. I follow Cabela's, being an expert fisherman. We bought Cabela's on this pullback down here, and it chopped around a while. You know, we ended up having to hold this here close to a month. But we knew that, you know, the price was holding its gains. I loved it here. I actually thought we were going to get some kind of news like this, and we got the news, and we got a big 5-point pop on it, and we took profits in it. It was that simple. I expect this actually to get up to $55, but you know, that's all I wanted on this. So we did take that off just yesterday also. So these are the type of trades we're going to be trading going forward, because at one point you realize there's a right way of doing things, and there's a not so right way of doing things, or a wrong way, or you know there is a right way of trading. There is something that gives you that edge, and you know, we have a great team here at Day Trading Radio, and we all apply the same rules. We make some money, we go home happy, and we rinse and repeat, and we do it each week. And this enables you to do it anywhere you want. You know, just understand that you have to apply the method, have the strict criteria, and apply it. And you can do this anywhere in the world. You know, that's a great thing. You know, it does that as a little overhead, requires some capital to trade. But even not a lot. I mean, it's a great investment. You know, long as remember, keep yourself confined to quality names, something that you're familiar with. You know, and I send you the divergences. You know, the truth is, let me find the divergences. Let me post them. Let me set up the alerts for you. You see if you want to take them, and if you take them, they end up on the HPS watch list. You know what happens then? It just triggers and it gives you alerts. You don't even have to be in front of the computer. We have so many good tools here. The HPS watch, let's see if I can bring it up here fast. You're going to see some of the alerts that are active right now. So this is what we do here. And you know, if it does stop out, it registers as a stop. You understand why. The ones that are watching haven't hit their triggers yet. The ones that are green but not gold have hit the trigger and are active trades. The ones that hit their gold, hits the gold mark, hit their profit targets, and the trades are over. So you could see most of these just great setups, and we continue to put them up there. Like Joe is up there today. Trip, APD, I mentioned that one. Some other ones. I gave you a couple freebies, and that's on the top of the dashboard. The dashboard is our trading platform where all the members get a dashboard, and you have all your news, your trade alerts, any trades I take get posted here. The HPS trades that trigger get posted there, and enter our target price. It sends you that email right there. Then we have our Rambot, divergence signals, and then we have, of course, our tradeometer and some other great features on here. All the news channels, music channel, auxiliary channel. The HBS video, which I put out each week, is posted right there. To make sure you're logged in as a member, though, that would help. Go to the HPS video, and that's our video for April 20.
Everybody,
That's
DayTraderRockStar here.
You can hear my voice. It's awful. All right, so that's it. I just want to do an update. We're looking for a great week next week. Come on by Day Trading Radio and join the community. We'll see you in the markets on Monday.